How do you keep fear from invading?
Yeah, fear is looking at what God is calling you to face or do and staring at your insufficiencies in light of it. So fear is basically a different form of pride. We don't normally think about pride as being too low on yourself. Like we think of pride as thinking too high of yourself,
Yeah.
but pride is really just thinking about yourself. So whether you think too high of yourself or too low of yourself, if you're still the object that
You're still
determines
in the
whether
middle.
you follow God, you're still in the middle. So really fear is, I see what I'm supposed to do, but I'm looking at my insufficiencies in light of what I'm supposed to do. And Moses had that fear. He said, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? And God had to turn his attention. He said, and Moses was saying, am I? And God, a few verses later, said, who cares about that? I am. So all he did was switch the position of the personal pronoun to let him know where he should be positioned in the life of the person. And God is like, I'm going to handle it. Okay. God is like, I'm going to take it. If you let me take this, cast your cares upon me and I will sustain you. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. And I will make your path straight. There are so many I wills in the Bible that Christians don't experience because they're looking at themselves and not looking at God. And your greatest accomplishments will always be right on the other side of your greatest fears.
Your greatest accomplishments will always be on the other side of your greatest fears. That is because we kick ourselves out of the throne seat, isn't it?
That's right. we take ourselves right out. I mean, people don't accomplish a lot in their life as it relates to battles and getting through those things, and even just purpose and destiny and things that they want to do, because they're looking at themselves and they let themselves forget about God.
Yeah. Well, they're capable. And we have to become very insufficient. One of the things that you talk about is the season of over and over and over. And yes, you referenced coming out of Egypt. Talk to us about that, because that was so good. As the waves continue to come in on trials, we think, well, God, I just got through that, and how come we got another one? Tell me about that. What you wrote on that was great.
Yeah, definitely. They were in that season. You know, they're saved now. The one sent from God, Moses, goes and gets the people out of Egypt. They get out of there. He performs all the miracles to let them know that, hey, I'm the guy, you should trust me. It's replication of what Jesus Christ was sent from God, performed all the miracles. I'm the guy, you can trust me. And they get saved. They decide to follow Moses out of the place of bondage. But that doesn't mean that there's not a wilderness. That doesn't mean that once you get saved, everything now is just okay. Well, now you hit the journey to the promise. Now you hit the journey of experiencing the salvation that you received coming out of Egypt. Now you have to go through the process. And they became extreme complainers because they had an expectation that they shouldn't have, that following Christ means that everything's going to be okay, that getting out of Egypt means that everything's going to be just fine. And they hit a season of coming to the Red Sea and having that deal, coming to places where they didn't know whether they were going to be fed or not. Then they get to a place called Rephidim in Exodus 17, and there's no water there. And they wanted to stone Moses because there's no water there. And as soon as the water came and all the people drank, then it says Amalek came to fight against Israel at Rephidim. And so now they went from dehydrated to getting hydrated to now having to fight. And not only fight, they had to fight against Amalek. Well, Amalek is family. Amalek is the family of Esau, which makes it Jacob's, you know what I mean?
Now we're family fighting.
Yeah, so now it's a family fight. Amalek is Esau, and Esau's Jacob's brother, and Jacob's Israel. And so now it's a family war. So God, I've been saved. I'm trying to follow you. I got fights with my family. I got the people at home, or the battle that I'm having to face. Certainly my battle should be outside of my house. Well, the people of Israel would say, well, we didn't have it any different. We had to fight our own family just to try to get to the promises that God called us in our life. And so they had one thing after another that was happening to them on their journey. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that in their journey, there was manna, the Red Sea was split, they were dehydrated, God gave them water, then Amalek showed up. So God's grace was sufficient the entire time. It's just that the battle would always override the grace that they had received, because they were so focused on what they were going through that they were never able to see what they came through.